Podcast. I'm your host, E-Rock. If you like this podcast, do me a favor real quick and go to whatever podcast app you listen to this on and give us a rating. It really helps get found in the searches and getting in suggested feeds. I want to give a shout out to the sponsors of this episode, Hefe's Airsoft Solutions, Skirmish, and TNT Airsoft. Make sure you guys go check out their content, products, and services. I'll have the links to all of those in the description. Thanks for being here. Let's get into the podcast.
Yeah, Tarkov.
What was that pistol? What was that pistol you had?
I got two of these. I don't know why I'm running both out. This is the AAP. It's probably
Nice.
I don't have crazy amount of airsoft experience. Like I said, I've been only doing it really hard since 2018.
Yeah.
I've bought probably 20 pistols.
Jesus.
These, hands down, are the best I've
They're
ever
awesome,
purchased.
bro.
These are the greatest things that ever existed.
All around.
They're
Like the
pistols.
way the functionality,
Everything
the
about them.
use,
These things
like the
rock.
the price. Okay.
Yep, everything
Dude.
about them. If you don't have an AAP in your airsoft collection, get on it.
Speaking of that, and give a shout out to one of the sponsors of this episode is another one besides Skirmish is Hefe's Airsoft Solution. He has a lot of airsoft or AAP01 accessories on his
Parts.
site.
Yeah, I was just about to show you. I got the one of them. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy this pistol because it's a new hot thing.
Yeah.
And I got it, and I was like, holy shit, this is the greatest pistol I've ever had. And everyone's like, oh, it's gonna break. It's gonna break. And my first original one went for a year almost before anything broke in it, and it was the hammer set.
Yeah, the hammer. Yep.
Yeah, so that's a Cal steel. It's like $100 just right there, you know.
Stainless steel. Yeah.
Yeah. One of them has that fully done. The other one has a couple of, I think, barrels replaced, but that's it. This one's had the most work to it. The other one's mostly stock. And yeah, I just bought two so that I could have parts basically, and maybe we'll want to go with Kimbo. I always have one of these on my hip on that belt, always,
Gotcha.
no matter what. Yeah. These things rock. Greatest airsoft gun I own for sure. And then you don't know about the Maxim 9? I actually do have it right here. This thing is
that I
big.
know of.
It's a Krytech.
Okay.
So go ahead and do your groaning. Go ahead and groan.
I don't know.
That's all, working in an airsoft store, everybody was like, Krytech. Everybody in the store that worked there was like, Krytech,
I mean, they're good though, right? Like, what? They're a good brand?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never owned a Krytech until I've bought this.
Oh, okay.
So I really couldn't tell you. I know that everyone that I know that played with one loved them, especially like they got that gray M4.
Yeah, the LBOAs.
Yeah, I saw a lot of those, and everyone's like, yeah, I love this thing. This is the Maxim 9. This is the integrally suppressed.
Oh, yes, I have seen those. Okay.
Yeah, it's got
I forgot that it was called that. Yes.
Got the tracer inside.
Right.
Yep. You can extend this by about that much. Yeah, this thing's really dope. Can shoot really good. Well, I don't think I've had to adjust the hop up at all. I've put 2.8s in here. Beams across the map. And no one feels it, but still. Yeah, this thing rocks, dude. And
it looks badass.
I only bought it because when they were doing the promotional material, they were like, you could put any Glock mag in this thing. So here, I'm going to show you right now in case there's not enough videos about it. You can absolutely not.
Seen any videos on that.
You cannot put any Glock mag in this thing. Oh, well, this one fit.
Oh, look at you. See?
Yeah, that one fit. This must be Elite Force G17. And Elite Force G17's work, which I only have like 2 or 3 of.
Is that one of the selling points?
That was like... Okay, so here we go. Here's one. I have because I have the AAPs, I've got way too many gas Glock mags. Probably like 12. Okay. Maybe more in broken ones. But yeah, here's AAP Action Army.
Glock mag. The Glock mag, not all Glock mags fit. Okay.
Yeah, the only ones that fit are the official Krytech ones, which are really sick. They're like aircraft grade aluminum, like really light. And Elite Force G17 mags. Pretty sure the only ones that fit. but it is a badass gun, and that's the only reason I bought it. And I was kind of upset about that. And when I got it, I got like the first run, so I was like, I pre-ordered it,
Yeah.
and there weren't any more. That was it. For till like March, and I was like thinking so hard about selling it because I couldn't get any of my Glock mags in it. I was like, yeah, man, I'm probably just gonna get rid of this thing.
Yeah. It looks awesome. Hell yeah.
But no, it's fun. I've played with it a decent amount. They do staff games at Nashville, and I went to the last staff game for one of the guys, and I played exclusively with it and had.
Now, what about a holster for that thing?
They make one. So that's the other thing. It's Krytech. So one of the things that Krytech gets a lot of flack for is how they charge for stuff. So there's a holster. It's like $60. The tracer unit that's in here, it's an Ace Tech Bifrost, but it's a specifically designed Krytech Apex Bifrost to fit in here. And as far as I know, I was like, oh man, someone's made a 3D print version. I can just like screw something into some 3D printed thing, right? Nope. As far as I know, it's proprietary. One thing that's cool about it is it's not negative, so you don't have to be like, so you go righty-tighty.
Gotcha.
But it's was like $160, $170, I want to say. For the for the tracer unit. For the gun was like $230.
Okay.
So it's a Krytech gun. It's a handgun. It's the only gas gun they have, and I still ended up paying almost $400 for it. And the mags are like $50-$60.
So that the way that gun looks right now, can you buy it like that, right?
Yeah.
And it has
except for the tracer.
Oh.
When you buy the gun, it comes with this. There's no tracer in here. It's just empty in there. The tracer comes with an extension. The only reason I haven't put the extension on is it doesn't fit in the box, and I've just been keeping it in the box.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so you bought the tracer separate.
I bought the tracer separate.
That's specific for that gun.
Yeah, and I didn't know when I paid $230 for the gun that it was separate. I thought it came with it, and I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll pay for the $170 for the tracer, and and then I found out that it didn't fit all Glock mags. It's still a super sick gun. You look like RoboCop with this thing.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Or like you're straight out of Cyberpunks. Like it's super. It's still cool on it. It works very similar to the way that the AAP works, isn't it? Backfires like that.
Yeah, just that little piece.
Yeah, it's metal, so it's not
makes it efficient on gas, or more efficient than the whole slide. Yeah,
probably not this one because it's this whole piece.
Oh, gotcha.
And this whole piece is metal, so it's probably not. I don't think it is. Like I'll fill a AAP mag, and I'll get 3 rounds of BBs out of it. Probably. I think I might get 1 out of these.
Gotcha. Okay. But it looks cool as fuck. Did you get the holster for it?
No, I haven't got the holster yet. Yeah.
You suck. Just don't even worry.
I didn't get the holster for it because I was still on the bridge about selling it, or on the fence. On the bridge.
Right?
I was still on the fence about selling it.
Fucking, but almost $400 in the or 400 and change probably with just those items there.
Yeah, and I could have sold it for more because at the time you couldn't buy one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it.
Then you wouldn't have been able to show it off on here, bro.
Yeah, it's still it's cool. I might get the holster for it. The holster is super bulky. I like the AAP holster and how that it's like not something you slide anything into. You just click it.
Yeah, that's what that needs.
Yeah, and the holster that they have, you have to slide into.
I wonder if you can get one of those that that goes around the trigger guard.
I don't know. I haven't done much research on it.
Or on the side.
Yeah, it's like ever since I stopped working at NA, I've been working like 10 to 12, 15-hour days in a kitchen and coming home and trying to squeeze whatever video game I can before I pass out. It's basically been my routine the last few months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what kind of food do you cook over there?
It's a golf course. I work in the banquet kitchen. So like whenever people come in to do like their company tournament, we'll like cook for them. So it's anything from just cheeseburgers to some real fancy stuff, or just some meat and 3. It's mostly meat and 3 kind of a vibe though. But yeah, that's what I do.
what would be the meat like? What are they like?
Smoked meatloaf, smoked turkey.
Okay,
We do a lot of smoked stuff. Like chicken cordon bleu. It's not what we call it, but that's what it is. Uh,
gotcha.
lasagnas. It's all it's all like big buffet style food. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, banquet stuff. Yeah.
yeah, big banquet stuff.
What's your favorite thing to cook? You've been cooking for a long time. If I was, and I asked this to the other guy I talked with, who's a chef. I said, okay, well, because his mom is Filipino and his dad's Mexican, and so his mom always made like a kind of mixed the two a lot of times when he was growing up. And I said, okay, and he likes to cook. And I said, so what's your favorite thing to cook? I said, if I'm coming over, you're gonna have me over. You're gonna cook for me and my wife or something like that. What are you cooking? What's your best thing?
So like I'm a chef, I'm a cook, right? I do it professionally. Like I don't do it at home. Like I get
I
home
come to your house and you're a chef and you
and I'm like,
fucking
hey, what's
you got
leftover Chinese
little seafood
takeout? Yeah.
pizza. I'm be
No,
like, hey, let's go. Let's get out of here, okay?
I cook a lot of rice. If I'm cooking at home, I cook. I'm gluten free. I'm gluten intolerant. I
Yeah.
haven't like gone to a doctor about it. I've just like figured it out on my
We
own.
just know. Right.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
so I've been eating a lot of rice lately. My like regular meal is like I like Korean fried rice. It's like ketchup
Nice.
and onions and celery, carrot, garlic,
Well,
ginger if you got it, and
I
then
spent
you fry the
couple
rice and you
months in
put ketchup
Korea,
in it.
so I definitely ate a lot of Korean food
Yeah,
and a year in Japan, so I ate, all that
yeah.
stuff. But
I really enjoy like Asian cuisine the most. I
me
really
too. Me too.
like rice. Period. I haven't had rice in any fashion that I don't like. So I like to pound rice. It's basically
Same,
my
same,
thing.
same.
Cook a lot of rice. My rice cooker gets a lot of work. Uh,
Yeah.
if I was if it was breakfast, like we just got done grilling out all day, I'm gonna cook you some ketchup fried rice with an egg on top.
Nice.
Probably tornado style if I can muster it.
What's that?
Like it's like an omelet, but you pour it into the pan. You take two chopsticks and you just keep twirling it as it cooks, and you don't cook the top part, and then you just slide it on top of whatever you're doing, and it looks all twirly.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
wild. Okay.
yep. It's kind of
Yeah.
difficult to do. Uh, like I partied too hard or whatever. It's pretty difficult to do early in the morning, but it's something I've like cooked pretty regularly lately for like my
Yeah.
friends and myself.
Okay.
It's a lot of rice. I eat and cook a lot of rice at work when I'm like in a pinch
Yeah.
and I'm like starving and I need something to eat really quick. I'll like scramble some eggs with some onions and peppers and maybe like a
Oh,
meat of some kind,
yeah.
and like sometimes throw like a couple of crushed up French fries that have been
Nice.
cooked in the fryer. I like slam them with a spatula in the pan so they get all crushed up.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that's like one of the I don't eat great and I don't eat a lot of stuff. I'll nibble throughout the day because I have to taste the food as I'm cooking it.
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot of pulled pork, and we do it Carolina style, vinegar based, which is my favorite.
Gotcha.
I grew up eating, uh, so I've been eating a lot of pulled pork lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, if we were over at the house, I'd have a hard time probably figuring out what to cook for you because my fridge is mostly at this point just like random stuff from
Yeah.
work, like some chicken thighs and a cheeseburger patty, like just random stuff from work.
I hear you.
I haven't like gotten legit grocery shopping in a minute because
Yeah.
I just eat at work.
Well, I'm sure you're there so many hours, and I mean you're in a kitchen. You're working in a kitchen.
A hungry chef is a stupid chef.
No shit, right?
Like
Oh,
what are
my
you
wife
doing
gets
wrong?
so
Why can't
mad
you
when,
eat?
yeah, my wife's like, can you not cook, please? Like, I mix the weirdest shit together. It tastes great for me, bro. Because I don't care. My
Yeah,
palate is so fucking numb. I don't know. I eat dirt. Just fucking,
salt
just
and pepper is all
whatever.
you need. Every recipe is just salt and pepper. It's like the
Yeah.
last thing in every single recipe. So it's
My thing
pretty
is
much just
ketchup. I
yeah.
love ketchup, so I put it on.
I
I
hated
put it
ketchup for
on
years,
just
but
about
like I
anything.
said, I've been eating that in the rice, and they just when you cook it like a tablespoon of ketchup and like a cup of rice, it just does something so magical, and it just makes
Uh,
that rice insane.
Nice.
Try that out whenever you get a second.
Yeah, I'll have to try
Whenever
that
you
out. Now I
got
do
some
put
rice.
ketchup on my, on rice, any kind of rice meal or whatever that we have. Chicken and rice. We have whatever. My wife makes meatloaf and rice or whatever. I'll put ketchup on that shit and just, and hot sauce. So I love hot
Yeah.
sauce.
Can't
Well,
eat
I
meatloaf
love the
anymore
spicy.
because one of meatloaf's main ingredients is gluten.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
the breadcrumbs or
yeah,
yeah, I
being
guess
a chef
breadcrumbs.
helps me be able to dodge that stuff,
Yeah, I'm sure because
because
you know
I
the
know how to cook
ingredients.
things. Yeah, I know I know what's in
Right.
stuff. It's like, oh, I can't eat that white sauce because it's got a roux in it. It's like,
Well, you know what's
that.
funny is when the gluten thing first came out, I felt the same way. I was having a really bad stomach reaction to like heavy wheat items. Not when
Beer
the
was what
gluten
it
thing
was.
came out.
I was drinking beer, and I was like, dude, why do I feel so awful every single time? Like,
Oh
this is
yeah.
not normal, right? Like, yeah.
Now what do you drink now?
Uh, Not
If you're gonna
much.
have alcohol,
If I'm
what do
gonna
you?
have alcohol, I like Moscow Mules. It's like my favorite.
What's
Uh,
that?
It's ginger beer, vodka, and lemon or lime. I like a
Oh,
little
it's
bit
like
of
a mixed drink.
pineapple in mine. Yeah, it's a little cocktail.
Moscow Mule.
Yeah, Moscow Mule. You usually drink them in these little copper mugs.
Ooh, that
And
sounds cool.
I'm usually getting one after my shift at work, so it's in a styrofoam cup. So
All right.
I got a copper mug at home. I pour it into. I don't drink it until I get home. I promise.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really drink that much. I feel like a lot of people drink because they're sad, and it when I drink, I get sad, so I don't really drink that much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I don't. I
Every now and
drink.
then I'll have a little.
I drink when I'm in a good mood, and it puts me in a better mood.
Right.
Um, I don't. Yeah, I don't. God, I haven't had a sad drinky thing, whatever, since in like 30 years, probably the military.
Yeah, you got like a family and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We got kids and shit. Grandkids now, but yeah. I'm a happy drinker. I really am a happy drinker. Yeah, it's good times for me. But the my wife, she likes the what used to be Zima. No, I'm just kidding. The White Claws.
Yeah, so that's like my only option really if I want like a canned beverage. I gotta
Yeah.
drink like a White Claw, and I'm like gonna stay as far away from canned cocktails as possible. That just sounds weird. I'm just like, dude, that sounds dangerous. Like I'm okay. I'll make my own cocktail.
Well,
Uh,
dude, I started when she started drinking these. I'm like, let me try one of these. So I actually really like them.
Dude, yeah, I don't mind White Claws
I
at all.
love how highly carbonated they are.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
one of my
like
favorite things.
I love like I the biggest thing about gluten that I miss really the most is like just drinking a giant mug of beer. It's like
Yeah.
I want to feel like a dwarven champion with my giant mug of beer, just like slam the flag in.
Have you ever seen Beer Fest?
Yeah,
Das Boot. Okay.
yeah. I want like big old thing of beer. This is seltzer in here. So I've been
Gotcha.
drinking seltzers, like regular seltzers, because I just miss the feeling of bubbles in my belly.
Right.
It's a great feeling, especially when there's alcohol involved. Like warms you up.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, we were watching something last night. I had a couple beers left from last weekend, so I drank that. I can't remember what movie we watched. Oh, Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt. Came out a couple year or last year or something. I don't
I
know.
know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And so I was drinking that. I drank some of the Yingling that I had. I call it Ling Ling. And then I had one of my son brought over White Claws last week. So he has the same issue with beer. He can't drink beer. It makes him fucked up, his stomach. So I was like, dude, try some White Claws, man. They're fucking great. And so he's been trying all these different kinds. So he got this variety pack. So he left some over here from last weekend. It was my wife's birthday. And it was something pineapple, ruby or something pineapple mix is one of the flavors for this the White Claw, and then lime. So I haven't tried the lime one yet. I'll probably try that sometime this weekend. But
I think mango is my favorite.
okay, that's
I'll
what
get every now and
my
then I'll
wife
get
likes
like
that
a
one.
2x4 of mango White Claw at the corner store
Yeah.
near my house.
She likes the black cherry, I think it is.
Yeah, black cherries. That's like the most popular one. It's okay.
Popular.
It doesn't really taste like anything. I think that's why people like it.
Yeah, well, she's a big Dr. Pepper fan, so I think it reminds her a little bit of that.
Yeah, I try not to. I try not to drink sodas. That's when there's I drink little seltzers. I try to stay away from high fructose corn syrup. I'm pretty sure there's some in this drink I drank a second ago, but like speaking of drinking drinks, I need to take another break.
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
Yep. Okay.
This episode is sponsored by Skirmish, the future of airsoft gameplay management. Are you ready to take airsoft to the next level? Skirmish's innovative gameplay management solution tracks your every move, helping you dominate the field and achieve your full potential. Capture objectives, detonate targets, medic and more at Skirmish-enabled fields. We track every action so you don't have to. Review, replay past games action by action and follow your progress in national rankings. Phones are not required. Get connected with the only system that tracks your airsoft progress. If you want to find out more, check out episode 157 where I talk with the owner of Skirmish about how it started and how it works. Visit skirmish.net to check it out and watch games across the nation.
It's like one of the reasons I told you I did streaming. One of the reasons I stopped is I can't sit down in the same place
for that long
and like know I'm being watched for that long.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so like I was just constantly stepping away, and I'm like, yeah, it's the same for me. So I just stopped doing it. I have a lot of this stuff, like the foam and the camera and everything, because of that.
Well, I see a microphone back there. Is that your
like a crappy?
Or is that your?
It's like some crappy $15 Amazon mic. I didn't spend much on that.
So
I got that because I needed something better.
Do you play any instruments?
I got a bass over there. I played a lot of music from like 12 to 21, 22. Around that time, I was in a band that I sure was going to bring me to the top. We were going to be touring and stuff. And the two guys that wrote all the songs, they were on a spectrum for sure. And like just didn't have it together. And so we were dragging because of that. And then one day we stayed up to 5 practicing. So we were trying to play a show, and they just had a roommate move out and a new guy move in, and some guy that the new guy knew was crashing on the couch while we were practicing. And then we all went to go crash on the couches, because there was like 8 couches. It was a big bachelor pad. We all went to go crash on the couches, and then we woke up to every single thing we owned in that practice room gone. Like that was posters.
Oh my God.
That was posters on the wall this dude took. Never saw that dude again. Never saw any of our stuff again. So I kind of just like stopped playing music after that.
Oh my God.
Real sad story. But yeah, I do play a little bit, mostly bass. Play a little, basically anything with strings I can figure out. I got a concertina up there, a mandolin. Played a concertina. It's not strings. It's like a little squeeze box. It's very annoying. It's fun to annoy people with that, mostly. But yeah, I don't play that much music anymore. I went to college. I moved here for college for audio engineering and sound design.
Okay.
I went to an art school to do that. And that happened like right after I graduated, and I was like having a hard time getting a job in the industry because nobody wanted to hire me because I was some kid who didn't have any experience.
Yeah.
And then all that happened, so I just kind of like gave up on music. I listened to a ton of music. I love music. My favorite music to listen to is music that I haven't heard before. It's like I had Spotify for a while, and then I realized that Spotify just wasn't playing me stuff that I haven't heard before, so I just like cut it out, and now I use YouTube, and YouTube is been my go-to for years. Since 2006, I've been a major YouTube guy. Love YouTube. YouTube is my number one for music. I like, it'll suggest me some random album I've never heard. Like I've been listening to a lot of at work Nigerian 70s rock and funk.
What?
Yeah, it's just what YouTube's been suggesting me to listen to. So I'm like, all right, cool. And everyone at work's like, what is this? This is great. And I'm like, yeah, you never heard this before, right? It's like I really love listening to music.
I've never heard that. Pull up one of the songs and play it real quick. Share your screen, play it.
Let's see.
I gotta hear this. Nigerian something funk or whatever. 70s.
Yeah, it was like, let's see.
Oh, I found the White Claw. I know what it was. It's a ruby grapefruit. Yeah, it's really good, bro. I love grapefruit though. If you're planning on yours, sharing screen. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I just whatever YouTube tells me to put on. I was listening to some super funky playlists. I really like lately. I've been really liking like disco, 70s, 80s dance music.
That's cool, dude. That's coming back, bro.
Yeah, see, like this is a jam. Yeah, I still love music. I just don't play it as much. The guy I live with, he was in the same band that I was in that got all our stuff stolen.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, and that's how we met. Is we needed a guitar player, and our piano player lived with him, and we needed a place to practice. So we got 2 for 1 there, and got a
Nice.
guitar player and a place to practice. And then I've been best friends with him ever since. He played guitar. Now he doesn't play much music anymore. It just kind of died for us. Really, like that was like because we had a lot. Him and I and the piano player had a lot of hope that we were just gonna like be playing shows all the time and have albums and stuff. And like this was it. We were experiencing our beginning story, and
Right.
then just the guys they been medicated, both of them, since they were small, and they were just like they're from Kentucky, if that says anything else as well. Kentucky's a pretty weird place. It's a beautiful state full of some really weird people.
That's funny.
And they just didn't have it together, didn't have the drive. It was just something fun to do, which was like, I wanted it to be something fun to do, but I also wanted to like it to be my job, I
Right.
didn't want to do anything else for money. But yeah, so that kind of killed it for me, getting everything stolen.
I'm sure.
Yeah, so like I still have a few things because I didn't have literally every instrument I own over there, every music thing I owned over there, just a good chunk of it. But I still have a few of the things. I play a little bit of bass every now and then when I'm feeling funky. Ukulele a little bit when I'm feeling funky, but not really that much anymore. Again, yeah, it's like I'm like 33 now, so I work for 10 hours and I'm just exhausted and just don't feel like doing anything when I get
Right.
home.
Yeah, playing an instrument's probably not. It's like I'll do it on when I'm trying to relax on the weekend or something.
And I've never been a guy who can make music on his own. I've tried so many times to just be a solo guy and just make music on my own, and I think it's like artists hate their art, right?
Right.
And I just like let that take control, and it just makes it impossible for me to get anything done that I'll actually enjoy or want to put out there. So I like rely heavily when it comes to music on there being another person involved.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's not another person involved, I got no drive,
I gotcha.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Awesome, bro. Well, listen, man, it's been great talking with you.
Yep. Did I talk about everything I wanted to talk about? Let's see.
Did you cover all your list?
I didn't really talk too much about actually my airsoft career, but that's cool. It's all good.
You didn't? What do you want to cover?
I didn't. Well, like so, I got there. I started doing the sweeping thing, right?
Yep.
And then
sweeping the BBs.
And then I started realizing that there was a huge issue in airsoft. This is something I don't know if you don't have time, we can end it now.
No,
but this is something I did actually want to talk about.
Yeah.
One of the things that I kept noticing with a huge issue in airsoft is just like people not calling their hits.
Yeah.
And then people overshooting because people don't call their hits.
Right.
And people will say that overshooting doesn't exist, and people say that it doesn't exist in paintball, and that's fine. But like the perfect example of it, that the thing that really set me in this motion is I saw a video of a kid. It was a teenager that uploaded the video of him playing airsoft at NA with, and there was another kid that was like fresh into the sport and was not calling his hits.
Yeah.
So he came around and then just like beamed him down, and it was this huge issue. Kid's dad got mad and like put his hands on the other kid that beamed him down, and like, you know, and then it was like a clickbait video, not throwing names out or anything. But it made me be like, okay, well, the kid wasn't right for being like, oh, this guy's not playing by the rules, I'm gonna go punish him. You know, it's like that's wrong, right? He should just be like, oh, I'll just go tell a ref or just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Which has always been my number one go-to. Like, I know it's, as a ref, it's probably not the best advice to say, but like when you're in an outdoor field and you've got acres to work with, and this one dude over here is not calling his hits, just go over there.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah, see, you don't have you don't have that option at NA because it's a small field.
Small, yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta say something. But so like he didn't say something. He went in there. He beamed him down. Kid got cried because it hurt. He didn't like it. It ruined his day. You know, the kid probably been there all day long, was having a blast until just then, and probably never came back and played airsoft. I don't know. I'm just assuming. You know, it's like, you know, and his dad got mad, and there was this, you know, dad was yelling, and like it was this big thing. And I was like, all right, so how do we fix this? How do we fix this problem? So first off, people aren't calling their hits. Second off, people are beaming every single player they see because they're assuming that nobody calls their hits. So how do we fix this? So I was like, all right, I was sitting with my homies. We're talking about it because I was like, I got to fix this. This is my chance to make an impact in airsoft, and this is how we got to fix this. So we came up with the 3-shot rule, and I started enforcing it. And this is one of those things, like I said earlier, I like to ask for forgiveness as opposed to permission. I didn't clear it with Josh. I said, I'm running this field. These are the rules now. This is the 3-shot rule. You can shoot somebody up to 3 times at a time. If they don't call those hits and you don't immediately stop what you're doing and go tell a ref about it, you're part of the problem. You need to point those people out, because we absolutely don't want them playing with you, and we'll figure out if they're calling their hits or not. And if we know that they're not, they won't be playing anymore.
Yeah,
because that's it. You get caught calling your hits, you're not playing anymore. Because it's the core element of the game. You got to call your hits. So that's what we were just laser focused on that. And we're just like, all right, so don't overshoot, because it's not fixing the problem. If someone's not doing it, you need to try again, and then come talk to us. And don't just like be out there just beaming every single player. And because like when I was a player before I worked there, I would come in and I'd play, and there'd be players there that would just beam every player because they assume nobody calls their hits. And me, like it, you know, you wear a bunch of gear, you don't feel them all.
right.
I've definitely not felt them all. But like if I feel them and it's one, I'm gonna throw my hand up as fast as possible, or I'm gonna say something as loud as possible to make sure you know that you don't got to keep shooting. And like I don't want to go out there and just get welted. And I would stop playing because there'd be people that would every corner that same dude would be there, and he'd just fucking put 6 into my belly, and I'd just be like, dude, I have this huge pad right here, and you're shooting me and it would just make me mad, and I just wouldn't play anymore, and it would like ruin the day for me. And so that was like part of the inspiration, because like, you know, because like a lot of people, I'm pretty sure Jet Desert Fox like explained in one of his videos, I shoot everybody 3 times because I want to make sure that they're gonna get hit and they're gonna call it. And it's like, all right, well, that's the max. So we gotta limit it. So we started limiting it. That was the rule. You shoot people 3 times. And as far as I know, I don't think they really enforce it. I don't know. Again, I don't go there often. But when I was there, that was it. If you were out there to overshoot people, I didn't want you playing because you were out there ruining people's days. And we held so true to that. We sent so many people out for overshooting every single weekend. And every single one of those people argued the same thing with us, that it's airsoft. If they can't take a BB, they shouldn't play. And it's just like, dude, and there's a large chunk of people that play airsoft because they want to shoot people and they want people to hurt. And it's like, then when they take that to the like 20 plus BB, and like point blank range, it's like, dude, it's like, I'm not here to watch people get hurt and suffer. I'm not here to get hurt and suffer. I'm here to play a game and have a good time,
Well, this is something I was talking with, it's come up a lot on this podcast, because not calling your hit is such a big issue, in airsoft. So, and compared to paintball, paintball, we didn't have that. Like, I played paintball, a long time ago.
Yeah, because you could tell, right?
You
could tell 5 minutes after.
Yeah, you can tell. Everyone sees it. So it makes you more accountable, because you know, or you think you know, that everyone, most people see it. So it's real obvious. So now you're like, okay. So it kind of helps hold you accountable. But then also because it fucking hurts, bro. Like, it hurts way worse than fucking
Airsoft. Yeah.
So when we were talking about this, in fact, the podcast came out, one of the podcasts came out this week. I was asking the guy, do you think if we run in fact, the one that came out this morning with Seeker, he does a lot of, in fact, I think he plays at Nashville. Matthew, he plays over there at his call sign Seeker.
I know Matthew.
You know Matthew, yeah. So we were talking about that. And I said, well, do you think that if we had a rule in airsoft, like especially in Speedsoft, like the indoor stuff, where people had to wear just a t-shirt,
tank top and shorts, like
maybe not a tank top, but a t-shirt or a long sleeve, but something that wasn't baggy and not thick, right? Like a tighter fitting, just because when I played paintball, most of our guys, we all played in jeans and t-shirt. Okay, we didn't go in all this, military gear and stuff. Most of the guys I played with, I worked with, we were military veterans. We were tired of wearing a uniform. Okay, we didn't want to go out there and gear up. Like that, we're like done with that shit.
Like it was your job, yeah.
Yeah, right. So we went in jeans and a t-shirt, and not only that, we liked to compare our welts at the end of the game. So I wonder if you incorporate some kind of pain in airsoft.
I've thought so long and hard about how to do this, and like the best solution I could think of would to be make a front and back mandatory wearable device that's like
laser tag,
like laser tag, but it's like the targets, like a BB target. You know how the black ink breaks off when you hit it, and the paper stays or whatever. So it's like some kind of pad that's over your. Oh, I'm still streaming.
I was gonna say, turn that off. There you go.
So it's like a pad.
Okay. Front and back pad.
Front and back pad that's reactive in some way. So and that's the only place that it counts to get hit is in that front or back, like laser tag.
Could be like a pressure.
Like if you get hit in your legs, your arms, your shoulders, whatever, you got hit in your legs, your arms, your shoulders. You can keep playing. It only counts if you get hit in a certain area or something. That's one thing I thought about. Yeah, or like and then like the real way would be like have some kind of like light up reflective reactive armor. But I don't know if we have that technology
on a light
yet. Yeah, right.
LED
or like
or something.
Like when you get hit, it like blasts the light around you. You know?
Yeah, the whole thing lights up.
Yeah, exactly. So that you can see from across the map that person got hit because the light reflected off the top of the ceiling or whatever. You know?
Yeah. A pressure sensitive kind of thing. That the problem would be if they run to snake, they dive, and their arm or their gun or something hits their chest or hits their plate, and it lights up bright red. And they're like, "Oh shit. Just got myself out."
As a ref, every time someone would come in with like a really baggy jacket, like a trench coat or something, I'd always be like, "Hey man, I'm probably going to have to tell you to take that off eventually. You might as well go ahead and take it off." And they'd be like, "Why?" And they'd be like, "Because you're going to get hit in the tail end of it and it's going to count and you're not going to know." So, right. I know you look cool, you look great, but like, every inch of that coat counts. So, you got to be able to do that. And then, they always were like, no, I'll do it. And then, I got to be like, hey man, you got to take that jacket off now.
I really do agree with a lot of people that say, hey, if you can't take the pain, like if you can't take it, like getting hit or whatever, then you shouldn't be out here. Because I mean, most fields, if they're run properly, they have a strict, joule limit or FPS limit, and most people, like, you're not going to have somebody out there. It won't be a common thing where somebody is shooting really, really hot. If you're running on your field 350 or whatever, for most everybody.
I had a chrono in my dump pouch half the time. I could spot chrono people.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I took the job real seriously, and some might say too seriously. But I just wanted to. Every day was a chance to make Airsoft better, and to make the community better. And I just took it so seriously, and I wore myself out.
Did you ever get people really pissed off at you?
Oh, dude, it wasn't a Sunday if I didn't get threatened with a parking lot beatdown, dude. Like, one time there was these guys. I think most of them were teenagers.
Yeah.
And they were saying some inappropriate things to some of the other customers, and I was like, I talked to them about it twice already, and they'd like broken a couple Airsoft rules, and I can't strike them for saying inappropriate things.
Right.
So the last time I heard they said something inappropriate to the absolute wrong person, and I was just like, all right, I gotta get all these dudes out of here. So at the end of the game, I'm waiting at the exit, and I'm like, all right, you and all your buddies gotta go. And then this one of the like 16-year-old kids like grabs his helmet off and just slams it right into my face. Luckily, I had my mask on, so I only got a bruise around my face from my mask. But yeah, he put his whole body into that punch. If I didn't have my mask on, I probably wouldn't have, my nose would look different. That's like one of the worst ones. I definitely got threatened a lot. I tried very hard. I'm a human being, right? So like I got emotional, I'm also fairly emotional, more emotional than most dudes. I'm a pretty emotional guy. I cry from time to time.
You're passionate. Okay.
I'm passionate, yeah. And I tried so hard to just be as professional as possible, and just talk stern and professional, and not be single people out or anything like that. And I definitely did. Every now and then there'd be certain people I'd just be like, yeah, I don't want this person here, and I definitely would abuse my power a little bit. But it's not that I didn't like them, like, because of who they were. It was because how they played.
Well, that's how most people. I mean, that's I mean, and I know this is relative. So hate the sin, love the sinner, kind of thing. We love people, but we don't like your actions.
Right.
And there are bad people out there, yeah. But like what you're talking about, there's hey, we're gonna try to. You should get punished for bad behavior. That's how we know hey, don't act like this, you act like this. Okay?
Yeah, and I would try so hard to just like do like speeches, and like one of the things that I think it's American Milsim they say is like they make people raise their hand and say, I'm playing a dumb nerd game, a silly nerd game, It's like I do stuff like that, and like I would
like a pledge.
Right. I would be like, oh guys, we're just here to play a game, let's all have fun. And I talked to the whole room, I talked to the whole group, and I did that a lot, and I probably most refs and airsoft fields would just be like, whatever.
Are you looking for a company that puts the community first? Look no further than Jefe'sAirsoftSolutions.com. Their founding principle is to offer a way for players of all types to get the greatest experience possible. Their passion is to make a difference in the airsoft community and serve each of their customers with the utmost respect. Be part of the conversation by joining hundreds of fellow airsofters in their Discord server. Here you can find out about upcoming events, sales, giveaways, and more. Don't wait any longer. Join today and start enjoying all that Jefe's Airsoft Solutions has to offer. Together we can make a difference in the community.
I'm here to run this field, and these people can play all they want. But I wanted to ensure that every single person that came in there had the best day they possibly could.
Right.
And I wanted, if they've never played before, I wanted them to play Airsoft again. And I didn't care if it was there. I didn't care if they bought a gun in our store. I didn't care if they gave us any more of their money. I just wanted them to play Airsoft again. And if it meant their local field or the next place they go that has Airsoft, I just wanted people to be like, this is fun. I need to do this. And that was like my number one goal. And I tried very hard, and I gotten a lot of heated discussions with lots of people, and specifically groups of people, and I got caught in a lot of stuff, and it got
Right.
real. I think like one of the points where I was like, I really like I need to figure something out, or I can't do this anymore. Was like there was one day this dude was like, I just spent $3,000 here, and I had like $25 in my bank account, and I was just like, how do I be nice to this guy? It was like people would say that stuff all the time, and it wasn't
Oh
really.
man, you do a great Duke Nukem voice,
And
bro.
people would hit me with the, you know how much money I spent here, and I just really do. That doesn't matter to me. I run the games. I'm the game
Yeah.
guy. You know, like I don't care how much you spent in the shop. I run the games. You paid for your games. I'm trying to run you good games. You're ruining everybody's game right now.
Yeah.
And like I tried to be chill. Every now and then I'd get emotional, and I'd have to like step away. And it was always really hot too. Like they didn't have proper AC there, so it was like, you know, in the summer it's like 100 degrees in there.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And it was just wearing me out, and I just couldn't do it anymore. Just didn't feel like I was making any progress, and I really don't want to give up on my Airsoft career. I want to get back into it because, like I said, I want to do big events, and I just haven't had a chance to. I was really hoping the 2 years that I spent there that I would have met somebody that was like had that in their account and was like ready to throw it at me to get an event going, you know, or some kind of knew someone investor, you know.
Yeah.
Like I was really hoping I'd be able to network. I tried real hard. I networked with a lot of people, but I just couldn't find anyone who was willing to jump on that boat. Trying to figure out what else did I talk about. Oh yeah, so like the whole time I've been in kitchens, I like refused leadership positions.
Okay.
Because like I said earlier, like most guys that run kitchens are not doing so great, you know.
Right.
And I just didn't want to be one of those guys, and so I turned it down.
Okay.
Like I literally got fired from jobs because they were like, all right, you're going to be the executive chef now, and I'd be like, nah, I don't want to do that. And they'd be like, okay, well, there's the door. And yeah, so I like refused leadership positions for so long. And first leadership position I ever had as an adult was at NA, being the head ref.
Gotcha.
And I only felt like I could actually lead because of two things. Number one, the amount of Star Trek I'd consumed in the last 10 years.
Star Trek?
Star Trek. Number
Okay.
two, because of all the Airsoft that I've been playing and all the times that I've like seen people at Respawn just like with their thumbs up their butts, like, and I'm like, all right guys, we need to do this and we need to go here and you help me do this and we'll get over there and we'll do it. And then, you know, change their whole perspective of the game and led those people to victory. And like all those times that like I organized a team and I led and it worked, and or if it didn't and I felt like I failed them, like I was like, I think I can finally be a leader. So I started leading the field and leading the young kids working for me. I don't think I had one adult working for me the entire time, and he had just turned 18, like right when I started.
Yeah.
You know, a bunch of teenagers, and I just led these kids, and I, you know, had a couple of them tell me that I was the greatest boss they'd ever had. And, you know, they were 18 when they said this, 17. You know, they've got tons of bosses they're gonna have, but you know, they meant that. You know, that made me feel good, and now I'm in a leadership position in the kitchen, and the only reason I feel comfortable in it is because of my Airsoft experience and my Star Trek experience.
I was going to say, what is so
Star Trek
the connection there?
Star Trek teaches you how to be a leader, man. Every leader in that show is a perfect example of a great leader. Picard being one of the best, like, yeah, it just teaches you.
It does teach a lot of good morals.
Teach you how to lead a crew and obtain the goals you're after, and to drive through adversity. Like Star Trek's the best.
Well, I agree. Star Trek is awesome. And they did, a lot of these shows back in the day, like when I say, like back then, a lot of those shows really, they tried to teach like a moral of the story, right? If you watch
Yep.
some of these cartoons and stuff, even the cartoons would teach you a moral of the story kind of thing, and throughout it. And I feel like it's a lot different now. A lot of popular TV shows are pretty much, they're not teaching
Yeah, Family Guy ruined
a
all
good
that.
moral, you know, character and how hey, this is a good way to behave. They're mostly just showing the drama that happens with, and I mean, they're realistic circumstances, but there's not really a huge moral to the story kind of thing, unless it's, you know, something that's against some kind of good moral code, I guess. So Star Trek helped you be a good leader, and Airsoft
And playing Airsoft,
and
and
playing
then
Airsoft,
and
and
then
now
being asked to run the
now you
field.
feel comfortable being a
Yeah,
leader in the kitchen.
yep, and period. I just feel comfortable asking
And how
people to
long you
do
been doing
things.
that? The leadership in the kitchen.
Just a couple months. I started back in the kitchen I work at in September of last year.
Yeah.
That's when I quit working at NA.
Well, how's it going? How's it going with that? Like, so what's the difference when you have to be in a leadership role in the kitchen? So are you doing less cooking and more overseeing of
Mostly, I'm
keeping
making
up with
sure
inventory
keeping
and
up with inventory and
yeah,
a prep list and making
scheduling
sure I don't have to schedule. I just have to
okay,
keep up with inventory, a prep list, make sure that all the stuff gets done. It's a
gotcha.
pretty light leadership position, but I do kind of boss people around, and I say boss people around. I ask people to do things,
Sure. Yeah.
and if they can't do them, then I do them. And it's like that's one of the things Star Trek taught me. It's like don't ask somebody to do something that you're not going to do yourself.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's like that's like one of the big things that I've taken away from Airsoft is finally feeling like I can be a leader. And not to my own horn, but I feel like I'm pretty damn good at it. Especially at Airsoft, I felt like I was really good at it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave. I just didn't feel like I really had much other choice.
Gotcha.
I'd go back in a heartbeat if I could afford to.
Well, most, yeah, for sure. Well, that's a big thing. I mean, people change jobs. One of the biggest reasons is because of pay. There's other things, like that come into the equation, I guess, like travel time and whatever the hours and that kind of thing. But even the travel time is that consideration, it still goes back to pay. Like if
Yeah,
I have to travel
that
50
doesn't get
miles one way, but you're going to pay me $50 an hour as opposed to $20 an hour, then yeah, the drive is worth
right.
it.
Yeah,
Right. So you take all these things into consideration. But we work a job for the money, for the paycheck. That's the number one thing.
yeah.
And unless you find something that you really, really love to do and it pays you enough to have a decent lifestyle, then it's cool, But yeah, I mean,
That's where I
that's
was
your
at.
ideal.
It was something I really loved doing, but it wasn't paying enough, and I was
Yeah,
like, I just
that's
can't.
most people I've talked with in airsoft is they always want to find something that they could do airsoft and make money. And a lot of them start YouTube channels thinking they could do that. And unfortunately, over the last 3 years now, is when they first changed their terms of service back in 2019, 2020, I think. They, it started canceling or, demonetizing a lot of
Shadow
airsoft
banning.
stuff.
My thing
Shadow
about
banning.
Airsoft YouTube, so I don't watch a bunch of Airsoft YouTube.
Yeah.
I watch Airsoftology.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Yeah, I love that dude.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude.
I
That's
don't
one
watch.
of
I
the
don't
first
watch a
big
bunch of
channels I
Airsoft.
started watching.
I watch a bunch of Airsoft YouTube mostly because I just see stuff that upsets me. Like when
Well,
when I
that's what
was
they promote. That's what they promote. That's what
right,
YouTube promotes.
right.
And that, unfortunately, that's so. As a rule of thumb, if someone wants to start if you want to make money off of off airsoft videos from YouTube, if you want to, then and you want your videos to get views and monetized, you've got to do the cheater videos. You got to promote the drama. You've got to, because that's what they push.
So like
If you don't like doing that, if you don't like promoting that, if you want to promote the good, wholesome part of Airsoft, which most people do in the community, you can still have a YouTube channel. It won't get, you won't get taken down, but you will not
won't get any views.
Shadow banned. You'll get like 50 views on a video. Okay. Now the shorts are different. You'll get some decent views on shorts because they push those across the board. But I really, and this is what I was talking with Matthew about, I really think, I used to think it was, a lot of people think it's the guns. And this is why you see a lot of Instagrammers and a lot of YouTubers putting these, disclosures, disclaimers, this whole big warning thing. Like airsoft gun only, play toy, whatever the fuck. Like, bro, stop doing that. It doesn't fucking help. Oh, it helps because I posted this thing and then, they took it down like on Instagram. But then I changed it and I added this one, it's only airsoft kind of thing, whatever. And then they let it go. I'm like, no. You just repealed it or whatever you call it, and appealed it. And, you could not make it. You could have just done it without making any changes on the post and they would have still done it. They would have still allowed it. It's not the guns. Bro, I follow Instagram channels that show the real war shit that's happening. Dead people.
Right. Yeah.
In Ukraine right now. Like it's not guns, it's not violence. And by the way, they promote all of these freaking crimes that are happening where they beat people up on the streets.
Yeah, there's that one YouTube news thing. Every time something happens, it's like 8 videos just of the same thing.
Bro, it's insane. So it is not that. It is I start to feel like it's or starting to believe that they really do not want the community and the positive community side of Airsoft being promoted on their platforms. I think
strange. I think it's probably less that and more just that people just want to watch people yell at each other. So those cheater videos.
Well, no, it's not
the bulk of the people that are watching those are people that are never.
I'm talking about the shadow. I'm talking about the banning.
Oh, the banning. Yeah, I don't know. That's
because you don't really know.
That's a bot. That's a computer they programmed.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Somebody had to put that in there. Why is it that these people that I'm talking with on here that are promoting, like they're showing the good parts of Airsoft, and those posts, especially on TikTok, whatever, they get taken down. But you can go on TikTok and watch somebody beat the shit out of somebody on the side of the street. Some kid run up behind some old white guy, like an 80-year-old dude,
take his hat off,
hit him in the back of the head with a brick. That's still on there, but your Airsoft video that shows some good, good gameplay, like good wholesome kind of,
bunch of thumbs ups and good shots,
bro. There's something definitely weird going on with that, but yeah. So if somebody wants to start a YouTube channel and make money from it, if you don't want to promote the bad side of Airsoft, then I would say don't put it on YouTube. Put it on Rumble. There's other places like Twitter. They just last week allows 2 hours of video now. They're doing video. So now you can upload two hours of video on Twitter now. So you can do those. But anyway, so yeah. If somebody wants to make money, everyone wants to make money in Airsoft. Everyone I talk with.
Yeah, because it's the greatest thing ever, and they want to do it all the time.
That's what they want to do all the time.
That's why I started reffing.
Absolutely.
I want to do this all the time.
And you would still be doing it if you could make enough money for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that is a big goal, and who knows what the.
That's why I was like trying so hard for the big events, because like you run 3-4 big events.
Yeah.
A year, you sell.
You could just do that.
600 tickets to each of them max. Yeah, that's all you got to do.
That's all you got to do.
Like you could do one. If you do one, that's just that good. And you got enough people can come to it and have a good time, and you could do that every year. You can just do one of those and make your money for the year.
Get the safety shit taken care of. And,
right. Location lockdown. It's a lot of logistics. There was an event I wanted to go to It's called like it was in Texas, and it was at a Ren fair. It's like something of Alderaan or something like that. It was like so, and everyone wore like kilts and knights armor,
Oh
and
shit!
they had
What?
guns and
Oh,
stuff.
okay,
And it was like a Ren fair themed airsoft mil sim,
nice.
and I wanted to go so bad, and I was like following the event as it was happening, and then like a week later, the guys that I started following on Instagram that were posting about it started posting about how it's never going to happen again because everybody didn't follow the rules and they like fucked up the structures at the Ren Fair and like it's like because airsofters are weird and rowdy and they don't know how to listen and follow the rules and and they ruined it and now I can never go to that because that's ruined and like I've really wanted to play like I go to Ren Fairs a lot. I really want to play airsoft at a Ren Fair. That sounds like such an awesome experience, like no matter what the costume requirement is or whatever the story or role is, like playing airsoft with a bunch of fantasy buildings, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it's like, and now I can't do that because they like one of the things they were doing was they weren't allowing smoke grenades, and like there was like 12 pictures of all the smoke grenade damage everywhere, like on the buildings and the grass caught on fire and like stuff
Oh
like
shit!
that. Yeah, and it's like, they definitely told those guys that threw those smoke grenades that they weren't allowed to, and they were probably just talking to their buddies about the cheeseburger they had last night and not paying attention, or they were and they just didn't care,
Right. Well, I think a lot of people don't know either. Like they say because some events I've seen and heard where the rule is you can't have the what do you call it, the igniting smoke grenade, the flammable one, whatever, the one that spews out the sparks from the end.
Yeah, not a cold smoke like EGs or cold.
Yeah, the cold
smoke.
smokes, right? You can have the cold smokes, but not the hot smokes.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people don't know the difference. I don't.
Yeah, it's just a firework to them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like that is like that's like I think it's like a people problem. Yeah, I think we're all just kind of rowdy and don't really care about stuff, and
Dude,
we could all just do a little better on that part.
I mean,
Like,
look at what you're doing though. Look at Airsoft though.
yeah,
You're going out here, you're dressing up, you're fucking like you can. There's a bunch of different things that you can go to dress up. Right. There's cosplay events. There's Ren stuff like the Renaissance stuff. There's the reenactment kind of things. Like these things are actually pretty popular. Like one of the girls I talked with, 50 Cat, she's big into vintage. Okay, so it's like cosplay with the older costume stuff. Or
dress
whatever.
up like a pinup and stuff.
Yeah,
There's like goth night at the Cobra in East Nashville, and like
there you go.
bunch of people dressed like goths that aren't goths, and they go to goth night.
So there are places for that, but the reason people like Airsoft is the excitement and anticipation of not only shooting somebody but getting shot because it can hurt. So it's the same thing that we liked about paintball. Like if there was no pain involved, I mean, this is why I think that laser tag didn't take off as much. It wasn't as popular as paintball because there's some pain. We like pain. People learn from pain, and we enjoy it a little bit. Okay, it's that when you're driving down the road and you're tired of shit, and you got a big one of those big fat rubber bands on your wrist, and you pull that sucker and snap it. Okay, it wakes you the fuck up, right?
Yeah,
it's that jolt of adrenaline because of that pain. Same thing with Airsoft. You're like, oh shit, okay, whew, all right. Like it doesn't last forever.
no,
But that initial pinch, that initial sting, it feels good, bro. Like it hurts, but it feels good. Okay, it hurts so good. Paintball, same thing. Like we like that.
My favorite
fear of anticipation.
I wear a die all the time. I love getting
Yeah.
hit like square in the lens, and then like like after you've been playing all day and you're like die's all condensated and like the spit water just hits your face. Dude, that's my favorite hit, dude. Hands
You're
down.
disgusting.
I love that one. That one wakes
You're-
you up.
you're
That one wakes
gross,
you
though.
up.
You're talking about friggin' people. It's gross. People have beds in their background in their videos.
And I'm talking like
You want your own spit?
hit your face. Yeah. No, that's like talking about like adrenaline and getting woken up. Like every time that happens, I get hit square in the lens,
Yeah.
and I just know that was a headshot. Like I just like that wakes me up. I'm like, dude,
I'm sure.
I just flip backwards, you know? Like that wakes me up every time. I love getting hit in the dive.
You should have a pressure sensitive thing, speaker in your headphones, whatever. Like wear some headphones with your mask, and it's a pressure sensitive thing. And when remember the Unreal Tournament?
Yeah.
Remember the for PC it was like headshot,
Yeah.
right?
Boom.
Yeah. So the real deep voice. So you have something like that. So when you get shot in the face, in your mask, it says that to you.
There was a guy who had like a switchboard on his arm. He had like a few buttons on his kit on his arm where he could like play certain sound bites. Like kind of
awesome.
like it was just a keyboard, right? And he just like rigged it up.
Right.
But like people do for their streams with the little Steam Decks or whatever. And he just had like some sound bites queued up and a speaker in his backpack.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I always, one of my favorite things to see when I was a ref was some guy who just spent a bunch of time on their like costume and their kit,
Right.
It's like, even if it was just unnecessary, like all the armor plates and everything, it's just like, man, you looking good out here. Like,
right.
This guy knows what's up. It's definitely
that's the guy I was talking about with the Star Wars event I was talking about earlier.
Mandalorian.
6mm Mandalorian. Yeah, he's got some cool ass gear, bro.
Yeah, I think he was at Noob Day. I want to say that guy and a couple of his buddies, like one of them was probably a Juggernaut.
Nice.
I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that 6-minute Mandalorian was at Noob Day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
what else you got on your list?
I pretty much touched everything on my list. I had a great time being a ref. I'd go back in a heartbeat. Everyone should call their hits and be respectful, and good sportsmanship is key. Like, you're at the end of the day, like I've said 5 times already, you're here to freaking shoot.
I love how you point the finger when you said it. Okay.
Plastic BBs at people, and it's supposed to be fun, and
hell yeah.
Let people have fun. And if you woke up this morning and you're like, I want to go ruin people's day at Airsoft, go play basketball or something. Let those people have their fun.
Go lift some weights, go hit a punching bag, go do some push-ups, do some suicides, right? Wind sprints or something. Like, get it out of your system before you get to the field.
Yeah.
And then
I would hear people say that, they'd come in and they'd be like, "Oh, I can't wait to ruin somebody's day," and I'd be like, "Dude, why would you say that to me?"
I'm just watching you like fucking the Eye of Sauron. Okay,
yeah,
you can't get away from that.
How many refs have you had on the podcast? Yeah, you have Huckleberry on.
Huh?
You had Huckleberry on. He's a ref in NA right now.
Yeah. He took your spot.
Yeah, he texted me on Instagram, and he was like, "Hey man, I really want a job. I really want to work at NA as a ref, but I don't think I'm like good enough." And I was like, "Dude, just because of that right there, you're better than everybody else. Get in there, get in there, go make a difference." Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, there's not enough refs that talk on the internet.
There's been a couple. No. It's I've had people on that have refed. Let's say that. So I've had more people.
And like helped out a few times, or
that have been a ref or have ref, but not like this is something
my job every week.
Did for a long time,
50 hours a week.
I'm trying to think some of the because let's see, I had Baby going on. Some of the people with NSL, CSL. I don't. They're not. They're not really actually refs. Like so they've helped out. They've done it. They know the job. They know how to what to watch for and that kind of thing. But you're probably the first one I've had on that's been like a head ref at a field for any length of time. Yeah, that's
cool. Yeah, there's no place for. There's no like subreddit for refs. There's no place for refs to talk. And like the whole time when I was like trying to figure out how to make the rules better and improve the experience, like I wish I had like a forum I could go to and be like, "Hey guys, what do you think about this?" other airsoft refs, please. It's like there's like a few airsoft Reddits that I tried to reach out to people on and got nothing.
Interesting.
So it's like there's no place for refs to go and talk, so we can only talk to each other while we're vaping in the closet. It's like, or for me, it was my buddy Curtis. Every Sunday after work, we'd go grill out and jump in his pool, and that's where we tried to solve all the airsoft problems. Was Sunday night and the pool with
Well,
a beer.
I wonder if we could what if we did like a group cast on here?
Like,
and talk
your
about-
channel, you should have like a ref sub on your channel here.
Yeah, on the server.
Yeah, on
It's
your
not a bad
Discord
idea.
server. Yeah, because there's no place for refs to talk, and
I didn't know that.
I really feel like that there should be. So like, I feel like not every decision I made was the right decision, but every one I made had good intentions behind it, and I
Like,
wish
good intentions, but
I
at
wish I
least you're
had
assessing
other
the
people
situation.
to run it by before I was like, this is what we're
Exactly.
doing now, and everybody has to follow this,
Right.
And
Yeah, we all need a coach. We all
Right.
need some, input from other people and different opinions and perspectives.
I want to say
from mature people.
the like longest running ref I know of, there's a guy at GamePod. There's videos from like 2005, 2006 where he's in them, I swear. And so he's like one guy I'd love to have a conversation with. I don't know his name, but he works at
Yeah.
GamePod. He's in every GamePod video. So he's a long running rep. I'd love for him to be on the internet somewhere having a conversation.
Right.
There's like one dude on YouTube. I'm not going to name drop because I don't like him, and I think he's very toxic, and he just preaches the exact opposite message that I preach. And
okay.
he's pretty much the only airsoft ref on YouTube. So I don't have to
As
name
far
drop.
as
You
a
can probably
ref.
figure it out. But yeah, he's a shooting them till they call it kind of guy. It's like they're wrong. Keep blasting.
See, I kind of, when I as I'm talking with people and they say, they're talking, because this has come up before on the podcast where I'm like, well, why are we? Is that the only option? Is to tell everyone, hey, if just go, be a tattletale, like be a fucking snitch.
Yeah, and that's I would always be like, I'd be like, hey, you got to talk to us about the person that's not calling themselves out. There are no snitches in Airsoft. There are only good players and bad players. That's what I would say every time, because I would always have to line that up, because I would say that, and I would see on people's faces, because I'd be saying this to like 100 people at a time, and I'd see it all over their faces, like, I ain't snitching on nobody. I could see that, and I'd have to be like, I'd have to immediately follow it up with, there is no snitches in Airsoft. There are good players and bad players, and if you're out here letting the bad player be a bad player and not doing anything about it at all, then you're a bad player too. And one of the things I haven't touched on, that I tried to combat it with, was I like begged Josh for as many reps as I could get, and I had 6 at all times, and if I had less than that, it was a really bad day for me. And there were days where I only had 2 or 3, including myself. Yeah. And that's 6 is including myself as well. Like, I didn't just like sit up in a tower and just let everybody do everything. I was out there running it. And like, I wanted 8 to 12 refs. I wanted to ref every single angle. And he was like, yeah, I can't do that. And I'm like, dude, I know, but like, help me. It's like, it's a lot. Yeah, it's like, and 6 is a lot. And that was like the most I could. That was like a real busy day. He'd let me get a few more. But like, a day where we knew we would have to like split everybody up into groups and stuff. But yeah, 6 was what I tried to have at all times, because I wanted there to always be a ref around, so that number one, people always knew that refs were watching, and number 2, that there'd always be someone could talk to if something was happening. You wouldn't have to stop what you're doing and look all over the map for a referee. There'd always be one like 20 feet away from you.
Well, see, the other thing too, a lot of things have changed my mind as I'm talking with people and learning different things about different players and gameplay and situations or whatever. And one of the things that came up a while ago was I was like, why are all these different indoor fields banning so many people? Like, why? How can you get a lifetime ban? Like, what the hell? Like, and now, I've changed my mind some. I'm like, okay, I get why these fields have to ban some of these guys. I didn't realize because I don't watch a lot of those kind of cheater videos.
Yeah, there's
So
people
I
that's
didn't
all they do.
realize
That's literally
that's
all they
all they
play
do.
airsoft for. They just want to
Right.
go there and just beam everybody they can and just
Yep.
ruin somebody.
And just
Like I
they
see it
just
in their
want
eyes.
to cause
They're
the
mostly teenagers.
right. Exactly.
And
Well,
when I
I
was
mean,
a
that's
teenager
the
and I was their age, you know what I did with all that aggression? I went and skateboarded on like the abandoned grocery store rooftop, jumped off
yeah.
of it into a dumpster and ran from the cops and like made fake bombs in my backyard and ran from the freaking fire department. It's like I was like,
Yeah.
doing really edgy stuff, and these kids are just like going here. Teenagers are just going to airsoft to just go ruin people's airsoft experience, like be edgy.
Yeah. I mean, when I
And
was growing up, look, we had, well, obviously our parents taught us, you get spanked, okay? There was pain
yeah,
involved with, negative behavior. So, which a lot of people don't do now, right?
yeah, I
There's bad
definitely got
parents,
spanked
there's
for
shitty
sure.
parents that, they're just fucking pussies and don't, raise their kids right. But the other thing was we learned outside of the house too. When me and my buddies, when our neighborhood kids, we would play tag, hide and seek or tag. When you're chasing somebody and you barely, touch them, like you can feel it, and they don't call it because that's an honor game too.
Yep.
And they say, no, no, you didn't get me. Guess what happened to the same, to that guy that kept doing that over and over? When you did, get up, catch up to him, and the next time, you don't
Hey,
just touch him.
yeah.
You hit him
Yeah.
or you push him face first in the fucking street, okay?
Yep.
Like he's getting asphalt burns on his hands and his, whatever, so, or knees. I mean, there is some pain involved with consequences.
Are you tired of the same old, impersonal airsoft experience? Looking for a place that feels like home? Look no further than TNT Airsoft, where we treat you like family. At TNT Airsoft, we're not just another airsoft field. We're a family-run business that knows how to make your airsoft experience truly unforgettable. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a first-time player, our dedicated staff is here to ensure you have a blast. From the moment you step onto our field, you'll feel the warmth and camaraderie that only a family-run business can provide. And the best part? Our community is like no other. You'll make lifelong friends who share the same passion for airsoft as you do. TNT Airsoft isn't just a place to play and shop. It's a place where memories are made, where bonds are formed, and where you become part of our extended family, so don't settle for an average airsoft experience. Join the TNT Airsoft family today and discover a whole new level of excitement, camaraderie, and fun. Check us out online at tntairsoft.net.
And this is why I'm kind of leaning towards, hey, shoot the shit out of them until they call it.
Yeah.
The problem is,
I have this
if they're
conversation with so many people, and
if they're like wearing so many
like
clothes,
I'm on the small side of the fence.
if
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
And as a player now, because I'm not a
Yeah.
ref anymore, I just like whenever I'm dealing with it, I just like call myself out and go to respawn and like
Right.
cool off. If I'm like, oh, I'm pretty sure I hit that guy, or I'll like if it happens again, then I'll talk to a ref. Like in
I
a
don't know
tournament
the
situation,
answer. I don't know.
in a tournament situation, absolutely blast the absolute piss out of whoever you're shooting at. In a tournament situation where it really matters and you're trying to win a belt or whatever, a
Right.
trophy or whatever, yeah, like go for it. That's what it's all about. You're trying to win. I just feel like the excessive shooting, and like if
For
it's
no
you're out,
reason,
if you're out, it's different indoor because
right, big time.
every time you're getting shot indoor, it's like 10 feet, 15 feet away, 20 feet away,
Right.
every single time. And outdoor,
Close.
you get sprayed down with 60 BBs from 100 feet away. It doesn't bother you.
No.
You know it happened, but it doesn't hurt. It might hurt a little,
Yeah.
but it's a different atmosphere. It's way more personal, way more up close and indoor, which is why I was like so crazy about the like don't overshoot thing, because I do feel like a large part of it was my personal experience with airsoft that was really feeling it, but a large part of it was I was mostly just trying to get people to call their hits.
Yeah.
And it was a way to do that. It was a way to hold the players and the referees accountable to do that. And
Well, what do you think like the difference is between when it comes to that stuff? What do you think the difference is between paintball and airsoft? Like paintball doesn't have this problem. That you know, are there people that don't
I've
call it? Sure,
never
but
played paintball.
it's an issue. Yeah, but you've seen videos.
Yeah, I know it works.
So why isn't there videos of like the same type of videos from paintball where
Yeah, no,
many there are some
there's like no, I don't know if you know much about like LARP, like live action role play.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a cheater video in that. It's like that blows my mind. I found a guy once who does that. I've never done that. There was an
I think the
Airsoft
cheater videos, I think it's majority. It's the age of the player.
right?
It's teenagers. It's all teenagers.
Yeah.
Every single one.
And
You're not going to have
it's edgy
30-year-olds
teenagers who are-
acting like that.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
each other.
Because that was me out there being a 30-year-old getting blasted by these like 20 to teenagers, 20-something
Right.
teenagers.
It's always it's always the young kids, and it's I think that's maybe the big difference between paintball and because I don't think why doesn't paintball attract the 12-year-old? You know why?
Because it hurts.
Fucking hurts.
Yeah,
That just goes back to my point. Hey, you only can wear a t-shirt and like whatever kind of, not baggy pants or whatever, but most people don't get shot in the legs that much because they're crouching or their legs are behind, they're peeking out. So it's their upper, from up their torso up, or, their waist up. You cannot wear gloves and you cannot wear long sleeve baggy shirts or like hoodies. You have to wear a t-shirt, no gloves, and your mask. And if you want to cover the back of your head, it can't go down past your neck, period. Now, go out there and get shot 5 times in your knuckles. I fucking guarantee you, bro, you are not going to not call your hit. You're going to call that shit.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I don't
I'm just
play
saying.
Airsoft if I don't
you
have
got to
gloves
incorporate some pain.
Yeah.
It has to.
Yeah, like I won't play without gloves. Like I hate getting shot in the hands.
You pussy.
Here's something we could talk about. What's the worst shot you ever took? I think I heard you talk about it already, right?
Yeah.
You're like one of your episodes recently. Worst shot you ever took. Worst shot I ever took was I was playing shortly after head reffing, like one of the first few times getting to play on a break, and my shirt wasn't tucked in. So my ass crack was hanging out, and I was like, I was all crouched down, holding this corner, and it was a day where there was 12, 15 people there, so I was like pretty comfortable not watching my back, and I also play with active headphones on all the time,
Gotcha.
so I can hear pretty well. I didn't hear this dude come up on me, and he came up on me, and he had all the time in the world to come up on me, be quiet, and then aim and shoot me right in the top of my butt crack. And that shot made me so furious. So absolutely furious. I had to go spend some time on the roof. I'd stopped playing, took all my gear off, and then just hung out on the roof for a second. Just trying not to be mad that this dude took all the time in the world to shoot me in the only exposed skin and my butt crack at the same time.
I mean, think about it. It only takes a fraction of a second to figure that out, though.
Yeah, it
wasn't
half of me was like,
premeditated.
Half of me was like, yeah, it's kind of funny, But I was so mad when that happened. That was probably my worst shot. I hate getting shot in the belly, like right underneath the plate carrier. I hate that, and the hands. But the worst shot I ever took was that butt crack shot. That made me so furious. I was so angry. And that was I was working there, so I didn't treat that guy fairly the rest of the day. That was really painful too. This guy shot me in the butt crack. He could have shot me in my padded armor anywhere.
Nah, man. Well, I think when people play enough and they see how many people don't call their hit,
right? They want to make sure,
them.
Yeah. And it was only one. Sure. He did it in one.
Well,
I called it in one.
There you go. Well, I think that's what when I had Kicking Mustang on about the UK flipping out about him doing headshots. I'm like, I watch a lot of his videos. I watch a lot of other videos, and when people, the snipers are out there in the woods and they shoot long range, and they hit somebody in the torso, they hit somebody in the chest. you can tell on camera, you can tell that person felt it or heard it or whatever, because they look around like, oh,
Yep.
and but then they don't call it. Then they don't call it. The third time they
and then
don't
you
call
shoot
it,
them in the head, and then
and you
like,
shoot them in
yeah.
the fucking face, bro. And then they're
Yeah.
like, oh, and then they cry about it. I'm like, dude, I totally. So now, if I was
not
like
about
that, if that was
banning
me,
headshots, especially because
and I was
like,
out there all the time, I would be like, I am never giving someone a chance. Right? I'm not going to shoot them in the chest and give them a chance to shoot me back without them calling it. I'll just shoot them in the fucking head the first time. So I totally agree with. I don't know, man. I
feel
think
like
there's got to be some pain involved.
I feel like coming behind somebody and
Yeah.
point blank assassinating them in the back of the head is pretty
Yeah.
fucked up and not acceptable behavior. But like, if you're out there and you're playing, and the only thing you got to shoot at that person is their head's getting shot. My head
Yeah,
gets shot
for
all the time.
sure.
I wear like a bandana and a chef hat specifically so that there's not a bunch of red welts all over my forehead.
Right?
And because I know I'm going to get shot in the head, because I know I'm going to peek and my head's going to be.
You don't want to go to work looking like a 13-year-old with acne.
Yeah, or like like I do drugs all over my arms. It's like, so like, I know I'm gonna hold a corner and I'm only gonna hold my head out, so I know it's gonna get shot, and it's like I'm okay with it. But like, if you're like with that situation, if that guy came and point blanked me in the back of the head a few times, I would have been really pissed off.
Oh sure.
And it's like, headshots are. I'm not gonna say headshots are bad, but I think absolute blatant assassination style headshots, that's pretty fucked up.
If it's unnecessary, or if it's if it's on purpose.
And the only reason those people are doing that is because they got a GoPro and they're going to upload it to YouTube. They're not doing that because they personally want to do that and have fun. They want to do that because there's people putting fire emojis in their comment sections.
Fire emoji, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to touch on that when you were talking about that earlier, like the whole Airsoft YouTube thing. Like, a lot of people, when they start doing that, they're like, intentions are good, and then they're just like, it becomes a job, and they're chasing those views, and they gotta do that stuff. And that's kind of how I feel about with it, in my Airsoft career as a ref. It's kind of how I don't have an HPA gun. I've kind of refused. I'd get a pneumatic system if I got one, but I've kind of refused it. Because it just really seems pay to win to me, and Airsoft is pretty arguably pay to win, but and now it's not so much anymore. It's pretty affordable now, but when I started playing, I was like, why would I don't know? It just seems so silly, and I would see people as a ref who would have electric guns or gas guns. And then they'd make the transition to HPA, and they'd come in with it, and they'd show it off to me, and they'd be like, "Yeah, cool." And they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be respectful too. I'm not gonna be like those other guys." And then, dude, 2 hours later, they're beaming every single person.
No way.
Yeah, and or 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Like,
because they can.
Yeah, and I just see the evil. Like, start consuming them and taking over, and it's like, so that's like one of the reasons I don't have any HPA guns and I have to stay away from that. It's because I've literally seen it corrupt people, and I'm just like, I'll stay away from the corruption, and I like the limited capacity of my gas stuff. It makes it more fun for me, It's all about how you want to play, and you want to play with an HPA gun, cool, play with an HPA gun. I just feel like it's easy mode and pay to win, and corrupts people. So I stay away from it.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Like, I would see that all the time. They'd always be like, "Yeah, I got to be able to keep up with everybody else," and I'd be like, "All right, I go out there with 30-round mags and I keep up with everybody else." It's like,
it's the easy way. It's the easy way out. And
then a week or two later, I'm marking their wristbands for overshooting and yelling at other players for not calling their hits and stuff like that. It's like they were just an outstanding player 2 weeks ago, and then now they got this hose on their back.
Isn't that common though? Like the power.
Yeah, it's like what I'm saying. It's like it's a power
universal thing.
Yeah. So that's why I've stayed away from it, and I speak against it.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good that you notice that, and because I think most people, humans have this thing in us. Like, if the more power you get, the more you're going to use it. If it's available, you're going to use it. Like, especially if you see that it works. Right. So, I mean, all these different different superhero movies and stuff and shows, or stories. It's like, if you had this power, what would you do? Like Spider-Man? I wouldn't be so good, bro.
No, yeah,
Okay,
most people, your average human being, if they woke up with superpowers, would immediately start doing evil with it.
doing that shit.
Yeah, would start robbing banks, whatever. And I'd like to think that if I woke up with superpowers, I'd try to resist that urge. But I'm a human, and I'd probably
Right.
dabble in it a little. It's
So
like,
it's like the difference with the way you're talking about so HPA guys that were brand new HPA guys, or before they're HPA guys, they're like Spider-Man. They're good.
yeah,
They're good.
they
Okay.
have a good time.
They don't
They
have
got their
they
got their
having, oh yeah, we love everybody, and then so that's the good superhero, and then
and they're getting
and then they
beamed
get
by all these
HPA.
they're getting beamed by all these HPA guys, and not
Right.
having a good time. And then they get an
Yeah,
HPA gun.
that's true. Then they get an HPA gun, and they're like, they turn into that. You just watch that show, the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. They turn into that. Okay.
Yep.
Like, I got
Yep.
superpowers, and I'm gonna fuck you up with it. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, I just like stayed away.
Oh shit.
People clown on me about it because I would be very open about my opinion, and
Mm-hmm.
and like 70% of the people that bring their guns to NA are HPA guns. Pretty much everybody in a tournament is using an HPA gun. So yeah,
That's true. That's true.
And I like the gas. I'm a gas all the way guy. So like if you were trying to get on my good side immediately, and you were nervous about the asshole head ref at Nashville Airsoft, you walked up to the chrono station with a gas rifle, you were immediately on my good side because I'm like, dude, this guy knows what's up. He's out here clack clack, So
Oh shit.
I tried not to be, show like
Prejudice,
but like every whenever we would have to split the chrono lineup, whenever we'd have to split the chrono lineup, I'd split it up by HPA and electric and gas. Because we chronoed with a different weight for HPA. So I'd be like, all right, everybody with skill in this line, everybody without skill this line. I'd do that.
Shit.
I'd do that every time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was one of the reasons I liked the job. Though I was, I could still maintain a personality, and still be a respected authority figure,
Of course.
Yeah.
It's a retail store, or venue, but it's not held to the same kind of standards as because your clientele is different. Like, they expect a certain, it's more laid back. It's, hey, we're here to shoot people, so it's cool.
Yeah. You
That's
can count
awesome.
on me a little bit for having a hose, that was something. I wonder if they still do that. I really hope they do that every now and then. But yeah, that was something I did every time we had to split the chrono line. I'd split it up by HPA and
Oh shit.
electric. It'd be like skill, no skill.
Yep. That's funny.
Man, I don't want to keep you all day. We've been going for a while.
Yeah. I'm good. Yeah, we can wrap up.
I pretty much touched everything I needed to touch. I really appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely.
And I also appreciate you being like the most consistent Airsoft podcast. Like, everyone was begging us to be consistent with ours. We did like 2 or 3 episodes of one, Jackson, Joel, and I. And like, dude, every week it was like, when you guys doing another podcast? When you guys doing another podcast? And about a year ago, I needed money for a car I couldn't afford, and I had to have a car to get to work. So I started streaming a couple of nights and to raise money for down payment on a car. And I did that for just 2 nights, and then everybody every weekend was like, "Hey, when are you going to stream again? When are you going to stream again?" And I'm like, "Dude, where were you guys 6 years ago when I was like gun ho into it, doing it every day?"
Right.
I feel like I established a fair amount of celebrity for myself working there, seeing the thousands of people every weekend that I saw, from all over the country. So that was pretty cool, and I've been having to deal with that. One thing that sucks about it though is going back, and then like just everybody like looks at me like I like ran away, a ghost. It kind of sucks. Like that sucks to deal with. Like like a teenager will be like, Marcus, where you been? You got to come back, and you can't explain to them why. They're not gonna get it.
Yeah, that's more. Yeah, they're not gonna understand, and that's good. Not everyone needs to know everything about your situation. Like you might feel you might feel something, but it's most people aren't gonna know, or most people aren't gonna feel that way. They're not gonna be like
adults don't feel that way. Adults are like, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do for yourself,
Right.
But it just like it hurts to like it feels like I let people down. Like and if you're watching this and you guys feel like I let you down, I didn't let you down, guys. I promise I'll come back whenever I can. I'm still gun ho in this airsoft. Just been working.
They all accept your reasoning or whatever. Like I promise you, they got lives too, man. They're not thinking about it that much. Okay.
Yeah.
That's how most people are. Like most of us, we overthink things, and we think, I
overthink everything.
Yeah, me too. I'm guilty of it. So it's not it's not a great thing all the time. It's better to be like, just let it go. Like, the way I test myself is, do I think about, like, if this was one of my friends or one of my coworkers or one of my whatever, same situation, am I thinking about what they did, like 2 days later? No, like it's done. Oh, well then they're probably not thinking about my shit either. Okay. So, I can move on. So,
right.
Yeah, man, you're good, bro. But yeah, I love, I love doing this. I have enough people to do it. I have enough time to do it. I make time. I make time.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to make time. This is, time you had it on the schedule. It's like, I had to ask for today off, because I had to make time,
Oh, dude, you didn't have to lose work for this?
No, it's all good. It's just a prep day. Not a big deal.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I'm not missing much. I get 50 hours a week, dude. I'm not missing much.
Well, no, anyone out there that's wanting to be on or whatever, I'm pretty flexible with the schedule. Most of the time.
I saw Huckleberries and I was like, dude, did he just invite you to that? Like, how'd you get on there? And he was like, no, you can just sign up and get on. I was like, okay, cool.
Right.
I'm gonna go do that.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Well, I've had a blast. It's been great.
No, I love, I'm putting out 3 a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. They come out every, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week, 9 a.m. Eastern time. They release on all the different platforms, whatever. So, and now recently on Twitter, the video will be on Twitter as well. So
cool.
Now Twitter, I have to split it up because you can only do 2 hours on there. But I say only. I mean, most of my podcasts are over 2 hours.
Yeah, most of them are like, your average podcast, like your conversation,
2.5,
like 4 hours.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. D&D, whenever you play that, it's 4 to 5 hours.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure.
Sometimes longer, depending on who you're with and what's going on.
Well, dude, it's been great having you on. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And I'll have you on again. Yeah, I'll have you on again
cool.
later on.
And let's do it again. Yeah.
A few months.
Hopefully I'll have an event under my belt by that time.
Yeah, have something. Yeah, man. I mean, have something cool to talk about next time, okay? Jeez.
All right, man.
That's awesome, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Catch you next time.
Later.